we're gonna start with dividing the face. I like to start by splitting the face in half and then divide it into thirds. In the standard face structure, the distance between your hairline and the eyebrows should be equal to the distance between the eyebrows and the nose and equal to the distance between the nose and the chin. We will be using these lines as guidelines to know where to put our features. And about what I'm doing with red, I'm gonna explain it later, but these are just measurements I'm gonna be doing. And if you want the reference picture, you can find the link in the description box. It'll take you to Pinterest and you can download it in high quality. This is the sketch pad I use. It's nothing special, it's not a known brand, but I don't care about that. I care about the paper itself. It's thick but has a smooth surface, and that is what I want. As you can see, I already sketched the first two lines, and when I'm drawing a reference picture that is symmetrical or the person is looking directly at the camera, I like to start with the nose because it's obviously in the center of the drawing or the face, and when I draw the nose first, everything else would fall into place around it because now I can tell where my portrait will be and I can put it wherever I want. Zendaya is really beautiful. She has sharp features and she is really easy to draw, so try to have fun with it as much as you can. Normally, after I draw the nose, I like to draw the eyebrows because now I can tell where to draw the second guideline and draw the rest. So each third is 4 centimeters. For me, this is only the case for me because I'm drawing A4, but it shouldn't be the case for you. It depends on the size you're drawing, so it doesn't matter. Just make sure all the thirds are equal. So now I'm working a little more on the eyebrow, but I'm measuring that. What am I measuring? Remember the red dots? This is the length of the eyebrow. Now I know where it ends, but how did I know that? My point of drawing this is to be 100% accurate. This is optional, of course, but I really like to be, as I said before, 100% accurate. So what I do is I measure everything. I measure distances, I measure lengths, widths, I measure everything to get it right. And these guidelines that I initially drew helped me a lot as a reference to measure from this guideline to the point I want to draw. So I basically do math. I believe in numbers. So I measure the reference on my phone with a ruler and then I just transfer it to the paper. If I want it bigger, I multiply the distance by 2 and draw it bigger. If I want it smaller, I can divide it, and if I want it the same, I can just zoom in the picture on my phone to match my drawing, and yeah, that's it. As you saw what I measured right now, I pointed where the eye started. One point is enough for me to know how to draw the rest, but I really now want to know where it ends. So I measured from that point I initially drew to the end of the eye. And now I can just simply complete sketching the eye knowing that I did it 100% correctly. But of course you don't have to measure everything. There are a lot of things that you can just look at it and tell the distance of it or how you can draw it or where. But if you don't feel like you're there yet, you can literally measure everything, even the eyelashes. It just depends on your level, on your practice, and of course everything gets better with practicing. You know, I'm not a big fan of sketching the outlines. For me, I really enjoy shading and I really want to just finish sketching the outlines as fast as I can. So whatever method you're using to sketch the outlines, it's okay, it doesn't matter. The beauty of drawing to me is shading. I don't know about you, maybe you do enjoy sketching the outlines, I don't know. But I actually switched to the grid method because it's faster than freehand sketching. And if you want to draw this portrait with us but you don't feel like you're gonna get it right using this method, you can watch the previous video I posted. I talked about the grid method and everything you need to know about it, so you can go there, sketch the outlines using the grid method and come back to this video for shading. Notice how I'm sketching very gently because I make a lot of mistakes when I draw the outlines, and that is completely normal. You're just drawing an initial sketch and it's okay to make mistakes, but you're gonna make sure that you can erase these mistakes. So yeah, be gentle with it. And I'm using a mechanical pencil, but of course you don't have to sketch using a mechanical pencil. Any HB or H pencil is good for sketching. I don't know if you noticed, but I kind of draw tiny lines when I sketch. So one tiny line after another, and I just connect them together. But I do connect them together. I see a lot of artists that sketch these initial lines, but they're not like connecting these lines properly. You have to make a continuous line. Try to keep your sketch as clean as possible. If you mess up, don't just draw over it. Try to erase it and draw it again, because if you end up with a messy sketch, you're gonna make the paper first of all dirty, and this will affect the shading, will be visible after you shade over it. So just try to keep your paper as clean as possible, and your lines should be as clean as possible for better shading. Now this is optional, but I did draw another guideline to help me with the face shape. Also 4 centimeters apart, so I ended up with a big square. Of course, this is how I like to sketch it. You can't have a wrong or a right way to do so, it's up to you. But I just thought about sharing mine because a lot of you requested it. Keep in mind that the lines you're drawing right now could change after you shade, because this shading will actually lead you to better proportions sometimes. That's why I sometimes draw each part individually. For example, I sketch an eye and then shade it and then move to the other eye, which is just a different technique that I like to use. And now I'm drawing the first guideline. I didn't draw it at the beginning, but this is how it helped me. Look at that. Now I know that her hairline is below this guideline we initially drew. So we can know that Zendaya is not perfect after all. Now about the hair. I want to tell you something about the hair. You don't have to exactly follow what you're seeing in the reference picture, because it's hair. It changes. Maybe you want to add more volume. Maybe you want to do whatever you want, because the hair doesn't change the way she looks, and you can control that. So go ahead and do whatever you like. So don't worry about it. Don't overthink it. Just draw the hair you want to draw. It doesn't affect the portrait, and that's what's important here. Just do whatever you want. And this also applies on the neck, the ears, the eyelashes, and the outfit, because nobody will look at the neck and be like, yeah, I recognize that neck, it's Zendaya's. No, nobody can tell. Of course, you have to draw a decent ear or a decent neck, but you don't have to draw it exactly as you see it in the reference, because it doesn't affect the way she looks. Again, don't overthink these stuff.